We went out there. It wasn't as easy to search. We're kind of looking if somebody was just placed out there or if something was easily identifiable, but because of the snow, we knew that we were going to have to come back again once that melted because it'd be easier to see underneath.
Okay. And so do you go out there again?
Yeah, we've been out there multiple times. I've probably been out there 7, 8 times, all with various dive teams. We searched the complete river from 8 Mile all the way down past 96 on foot with cadaver dogs, in boats, in the water. There's several log jams. We had state police actually had their helicopter fly the entire route so we could GPS all the log jams. We had to coordinate with specialized teams to come in to help cut these log jams apart, which go throughout the river. And then throughout the season, obviously we had some rain, so the water goes up and down, which now brings the debris onto the land. So you have to actually search the land a couple hundred feet. And some places that the water has pulled debris. We searched the homes, as I said, searched the vehicles.
So when you're out there at 7 Mile and Berg, do you have an idea of what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the idea of what you're looking for?
So initially when we were out there, again, we had the clothing description. We had the picture of her that she had sent that night or that day that she went missing on the 9th. So we were looking for the black hoodie. We were looking for, again, initially we were told blue and white gym shoes.
Now, is there a time where that changes?
Yes.
Okay. And what is it that makes that change?
So as we go out to areas and search, when we leave, a lot of times large community groups may go out there, right? And they saw that we were at Shannon, and I know people come out there to help. There was a group that had been out there and they were recording and they saw a pair of Nike shoes, which were the red and black. We were alerted of those on our initial search. It's documented in our river search report. But because we weren't focused on the red and black and we were looking for blue and white Nike shoes, we left them there, but we did GPS the coordinates.
Stop you there. That would have been Border Patrol Agent Wyatt Barnes.
Yes.
Okay, you heard his testimony.
Yes.
All right. So continue.
Yeah. So on our initial search, we knew they were out there. The pink hoodie was identified, but we didn't collect them because, again, we didn't have anything about a pink hoodie or a pink onesie, and the shoes weren't matching. And there's a lot of clothing out there. There's a lot of shoes out there. There's people's clothes. There's all type of debris. So I can't collect every single piece of clothing and article that we find. Later, I get the information that as the search team is out there, they had called 911 because they saw these shoes. And they posted a picture of these shoes somewhere or sent it to Naziah's brother. Naziah's brother then reached out to me and he sent me a picture of Naziah wearing the black and white Nike shoes.
Okay.
Once I saw she had the exact same shoes on that are depicted, that were described out there, I knew immediately where to go. I gathered a couple members of my team and we immediately went back out to where the shoes were GPS located and recovered the shoes. As we were there, that's when we found the black hoodie and then the pink jumpsuit that had been laid out by Agent Wyatt.
Okay. Now, as it relates to those red and black Nike shoes, you had a photo that they were associated with Naziah in some way. Did you ever end up asking Annette to see if those shoes were still in Naziah's possessions?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ever end up recovering those pairs from Annette?
No.
So after you recover the pink jumpsuit, the black hoodie, the shoes, what do you do with them?
Those are all, well, the evidence techs collect them. They're placed on evidence. Those items were wet, so I had to wait, obviously, for them to dry. Once they're ready to be processed and they're finished drying, then I create a lab report. And items are selected and turned over to the state police lab for processing to look for any type of DNA evidence.
Okay, so once those are placed on evidence by the lab tech, you're the one who then submits them to Michigan State Police?
Yes.
Okay.
There may be some of the lab reports where I had gathered the evidence and one of my partners had gone down and physically took the items to the lab, which is all in the same building.
Okay. Now, I believe you said at least one time when you were out at 7 Mile and Vari that it had been snowing. Were you at all, I guess, familiar with kind of the weather back? Let's start with back in January 9th.
Yeah, so I searched it. There's a weather site where you can search the dates in the cities and what the weather was like. On the 9th into the 10th, it had rained here. If you remember, we had a very mild winter. In 2024, the January months, we had a lot of rain that month, which would have caused, the water levels to rise.
Now, is there, did you interview a Tijuana bus?
Yes.
Tell me how that came about.
Tijuana actually reached out to me. Shannon Harris had reached out to me. She had a conversation with Tijuana. She asked if it was okay for her to give her my phone number. I told her that was fine. She gave me a call. She said that she was the sister of Jarvis Butts and that she was concerned that she may have seen Isaiah but wasn't sure on the date and if she could come down and talk.
Okay, and that's all what she had testified to that you had heard?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you also heard that she had given Detroit police consent to look at her phone locations and perform a phone extraction.
Yes.
And that Detective Sarah Markle is actually the one who performed that extraction.
Yes.
Okay. Did you yourself look at the phone location data that was on Tijuana's phone?
Yes, so even before we extracted the phone, when she was in there in the interview, she had given me consent to look at her phone. She wasn't quite sure how to get to the locations. She had Google on her phone. So we went to the Google Maps, went to her timeline, and then specifically clicked on January 9th to see if it showed her route. When we got to the January 9th date, it was confirmed that that is the date that she was at 9000 Connor. And it helped us with the timeline of when she was there compared to when we know Mr. Butts left that location to head out to Ypsilanti on the 9th.
And Your Honor, may I approach the proposed exhibit 85?
Yes.
58. Sorry,
Yes.
numbers. Handing you its market proposed exhibit 58. Can you look at that and tell me if you recognize it?
Yes, this is a cell-right extraction report that was conducted by Detective Markle for Tijuana Butts cellular device.
Okay, and that report specifically includes the location data and in the subsequent pages as it relates to the Butts skull. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay, and is that a fair and accurate depiction of the screenshot photo locations, location data from Tijuana Butts' phone that you observed that the day when you interviewed her?
Yes.
I move the admission to the voting exhibit 58.
No objection.
Would be yes equals 58.
And I want to direct you to I guess it's going to be page 3 of the report. It's both 4 of the report. let's do page 5. Where does it say that Ms. Butts was from 3:45 p.m. to 5:16 p.m.?
So it gives the location described as, on here it says Citgo, and it gives the address of 9,000 Connor Street, Detroit, Michigan, 48213.
And do you know Mr. Butts's 9,000 Connor auto shop to be connected with a gas station?
Yes.
Now, to go back just a little bit, you said you were kind of going through all the phone mapping in order to kind of backtrack as to where your investigation goes and where you should search.
Yes.
And those maps were testified to by Sergeant O'Rourke.
Yes.
Okay. Now, she mapped certain locations, and she stated that you had given her some of those locations to map.
Correct.
Okay. Now, I want to direct you to in People's Exhibits 33, 34. Never mind. The blue dot here. What is it that indicates, and what is the importance of that?
This blue dot is going to be 9,000 Connor.
Okay. And that's the address associated with Mr. Butt's auto shop.
Yes.
Okay. And that's the same for Exhibit 34?
Yes.
And Exhibit 35, there's the same blue dot and then a purple dot. Tell me, what is the significance of the purple dot?
The purple dot is going to be the residence that Mr. Butts resides at on Wilshire.
Okay. And in Exhibit 36, on page 2, there's like another, it's like a pinkish kind of purple dot. Can you tell me what is, oh, I'm sorry, red dot. What does the red dot indicate?
The red dot is going to identify 20,000 Harper, which was the Park Crest Motel.
2, there's like another, it's like a pinkish kind of purple dot. Can you tell me what is, oh, I'm sorry, red dot. What does the red dot indicate?
The red dot is going to identify 20,000 Harper, which was the Park Crest Motel.
And on page 4 of 4, there is a lighter purple dot along with that red dot. What does the purple dot indicate?
That dot is going to indicate 4 East Alexandrine.
Okay, and what's the significance of 4 East Alexandrine?
Mr. Butts has a different girlfriend that lives at that location.
And that's Nadine, the one we heard.
And
Welcome in, y'all.
in People's 38, there's a red dot. Which dot is that?
That would identify 7 Mile and Berg.
Okay. And is that the same 7 Mile and Berg? You tell me. What was found at 7 Mile and Berg area again?
7 Mile and Berg area is where we identified the hoodie, the pink jumpsuit, and the shoes. And it's also the area that Mr. Butts' phone was mapping with.
Now she said hoodie, pink jumpsuit, and shoes. Hoodie, pink jumpsuit, shoes. Now, one thing that's odd about that is the Border Patrol guy. I mean, he only put out the one shoe and the pink jumper. He didn't say anything about the hoodie at the time. So it was found at separate times, and I'm thinking that other shoe was too. So now I'm trying to figure out, because Roxy and Mark, they said they found it before that guy on IG. And now that we know that it was 2 shoes, maybe they did see the one shoe, because the one shoe wasn't inside the pink jumpsuit, but the other one was. That I think he placed the one on a branch and the pink jumpsuit on there. But I'm gonna have to go back to his testimony now that I know that it was 2 shoes, y'all, because everybody didn't know that. Okay, like I thought that it was because of the fact that they seen the shoe. And then when I listened to his testimony and found out it was wrapped in a jumper, it was just confusing to me because I wasn't listening for that stuff at first. Like, there's so much is going on with this case and everything. I mean, you got to look at this in stages. So depending on what you're looking at, you know, what I'm looking at is how I was corresponding with the court stuff. So at first you just looking at it, right? And then you start learning more stuff, and then you go back and it looks a little bit different, if that makes sense. But that's kind of how it worked for me. And so now I'm finding out that it was 2 shoes. One shoe was out and one shoe was inside the pink jumper. So I'm gonna go to where I have a picture of all that stuff, but I need to put a still shot in here because that's just going, and I need to find the date on that. But this picture was taken in September. She allegedly got those shoes for her birthday in September, but I'm wondering if it was the September before, because she didn't look pregnant. But that was September, and it would have been early on. But I had said, like, she could have been anywhere from 4 to 7 months. But if we are to believe that this picture was actually taken in September, she looks really small. And we know the last video that she took, she looked pregnant. Her nose looked pregnant, everything. It's just still confusing looking at the pictures and trying to determine if she was pregnant or not. Like, she looked all the way flat on there and much smaller. So I'm gonna look at y'all comments in just a minute. I ran across this video too, y'all. I want to know what y'all think about this, because do y'all remember when there was a confusion about Naziah maybe being found? Welcome in, Tony King. You've been on it. Shout out to BFF and T Beezy in the building. I don't see her, but I see BFF. So I'm gonna start. Oh, there go T Beezy. How you been, T? I'm glad y'all are here. Tony said, Miss V, what side of the shoe was scuffed up and what side of the hoodie had the holes? Okay, so it's a picture circulating in here. Y'all see that? Those 3 areas that I have circled is the other shoe. The other shoe was would have been the first thing that you would have seen going into the area, and then as you go back, you see the other stuff. But I don't know what state it was in. Being that they didn't take a picture before they touched it, I don't know. Yeah, but there's everything. It was balled up a little bit under the brush, that hoodie was. I think I got a picture of that. And then that's the alleged, I mean, it looked like toilet paper inside of there and the headphones. And you can see in the picture that she took at school, you could see that she had the headphones on and she also had a necklace on. So I wondered, where was her necklace at? Shout out to Top Flight. Welcome in to Sonya. Shout out to all of y'all. Y'all coming up in here. Thank y'all for hitting the thumbs up. And thank y'all for dropping down in the chat. Carla in the building. Yeah, justice for Naziah. Shout out to